Alright, so 12:30, 8:30.
Start off with, which is really cool. Jennifer, come on up, Jennifer. Jennifer Shackelford is our ranger. It is my dream job. I love this place. I came here in 4th grade on my field trip. I went to the local school, which is right down the road. It's called Vernon.
What about
Plankton.
Plankton?
We know a lot about the things that were in the sea during that time just because of a lot of times it was just flint and dolomite, which is it's like a harder type of limestone.
Almost like facets so they can check it out.
All right.
Very correct.
It just makes the rock wet. But over time, that water with the carbonic acid is going to get down to the limestone layers. And when it gets down to the limestone layers, it starts carving out cave. It makes its way down to the limestone.
I'm a teacher. I am the ed specialist at the National Mall. He's 7th and 8th grade science and that.
Next year, I could be an AD.
I'm math and science. I've also been an instructional coach. I've also taught people connect, collaborate, and create. And we're doing the connection right now. Hey, for clean water, there's about 9 different challenges. When you get to your room tonight, you can go through and look at some of those. When you meet your team tomorrow, you can say, okay,
I like, driving versus, surviving. And then also we use that. They don't have to use it. Like, is it clean? Keep it clean. Even the fish, like,
they all have to go meet 2 people that you haven't spoken to yet. So it means you might have to leave your table. So 2 people, tell them why not. All right? Go.
it's active. There's 9.
And we're kind
11.
Okay, the inside circle, I want you to walk around.
Which way?
Clockwise. 12 is that way. Everybody goes right. Walk. Da 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 da. Walk. Stop.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Now, will you turn back to your partner?
But
The person on the inside is going to tell the person behind them how to tie a knot. You're telling me?
huh?
I will.
Think
thinking about what just happened here, what are some traits we're going to have this week?
But we're going to actually get our hands dirty for we need to explore the great outdoors and find something strange and wonderful. Put it in your pocket, peanut butter. Anybody curious? I want to know what this is.
Will found beautiful blue eggs high in a tree. Needing his hands to climb back down, he held the eggs in his mouth. Shift into the STEM student mode. Your hair learns to STEM stuff, right?
I really like this. I mean, this is so cool because not only do we get to collaborate, meet new people, but we get to be the national. And it's easier to do that way because we're doing it as a
You can do it. So if you want to use when I first made mine, I like using the harder part of the notebook. So all you're going to do is if you open the back side, you're going to fold down and think
Violet City Lantern Store. The first scary thing they put on the internet is they talk about the UK.
University of Kentucky, not the UK.
Do not litter or remove anything from the cave. Do not write or mark on the cave walls. Avoid touching the cave walls because the oil can stain the rock.
Here's some science and art. This is a weather station. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
We talked a little bit about Mammoth Cave. Because the people know it was the flat. In the early 1800s, it changed. Read it. People were making so much of themselves that steam is when the first tours began into Mammoth Cave. And the earliest guide.
This is the Giant's Coffin.
So I do want to tell you though about these huts and why these are here. Has anybody ever heard of George Rogers Clark or Lewis and Clark?
J.M. McDowell, 1839, the signature that you all saw on what we call Steamship Rock or the Giant's Coffin Mountain. He was just kind of a fascinating guy. Many people said that he was on the level of Albert Einstein intellectually.
Hundreds, they would buy them and take them home with them. So there's not so many of the slippers left anymore. Early 1900s, but also it has some very, very old stuff on it that unfortunately has been covered up. So we're not really sure. The oldest part of Mammoth Cave is up above us. So Ranger Alex and them, they were up at a higher level than us. We today are walking through level 2.
Because of where we are and what we've been learning, our drawing is going to be more freedom for you guys and what you've learned and kind of what you've connected with. When we were at Acadia, we did a directed drawing of a green crab, because it really was the focus of that camp. So for this one, there's a way you could go science, you could go history. So this really is going to be about you and what you've learned, and kind of what. The next part is the draw it, and this is to be able to connect what you have had in your mind, all those words, and so now we want to be able to process it and connect it to a drawing. So if you were doing a directed drawing, you as the teacher would have already had something in mind. And I bet that you could share some of those ideas for directed drawings if you wanted to try in your classroom. But for our purposes, out of this list of things, what is something you might want to draw to connect to your list? So as I was thinking last night, a lot of you, so it's just a sketch, synthesizing everything, and then to make it shareable. So then you can share your learning with other people. So one of the ways you might want to use it is in poetry. You can think about how you could turn this into a haiku.
That's really good.
Think about it. So you look, that looks like it might have a leg or something.
So I wanted, this is our last big stop, and the reason we're stopping here is because this is where in the 1930s some human remains were found, states. And so Kentucky began trying to procure the land. A group of people called the Mammoth Cave National Park Association. It was some landowners in the area. They tried to get people together and get people to sell. Sure.
There's so much history.
And I substituted in between, but that wasn't my place. You all are teachers in all areas, so different grade levels. Awesome that we do that method. The activities that we use there can apply to very small children, and then that activity. Usually, when we do this with students, the picture itself, they want to color. Yeah. So they can color that. We'll say, hey, why don't you put that in for the next part? So you have, and I like black because black and white, the contrast of it, it's very pretty. And I'm a very earth tone person, but of course kids aren't. So if you have a purple pen, this is one of their favorite pens, is the purple pen. You can make your picture purple, or when you get a little art is art. It's yours. Just like so. Like you traced all of these, so you have this beautiful picture in the middle. And you're already well down. And so that's
You can remember the name of that.
the nitty what's
The bat, chicken nugget.
Or yeah, like Keep you working.
With an ombre kind of, are you doing
Yes.
moving down, so I'm touching the previous slide, but I'm moving down. I'm going to show you what it looks like dry because it's like it's hot right now.
Nice.
PSA for goal 6. Please note that that says PSA, not PSD that I said in Wikipedia.
I love kiddos. They're just so
When I ran up back to the room, there was a squirrel coming out of the trash can with a piece of melon in his mouth. No, he jumped out of the trash can. Out of it. There's a hole in the trash. He jumped out of the trash. Yeah. It would be nice to go actually.
He brought some goodies. He's a very interesting guy. Not only is he our night sky guru, he also has an archaeology background. So
That's a good feeling, Simone.
Where'd it come from?
You know, and I think that when we got to where the cave path originally ended, and that guy felt a little piece of air.
So we have a few today. Even before camp, she went out of her way to make sure everyone they don't know about. First of all, your name and origin. Yeah.
No, it's kind of a funny story.
I have too many hobbies. My wife didn't complain, but I like to do magic.
Brigade 5. And I know you all want to know how tall I am. I am 4 foot 9.5.
Science and social studies. I tried to say I taught 4th grade the other day, but I don't know where I was.
And I say I'm from Chicago, but originally I grew up in St. Louis.
District bought me a rocking chair, but I'm really not retired and I'm renting out the rocking chair. But
Ohio, along the Pennsylvania-Ohio border. He came here around 1915 looking for oils. Now, ask her impressions of Earl.
He was a skinny guy.
It's a way called the New York Subway. This is Grand Central Station because there are about 6 or 7 different ways that you can get into this room. There's a passageway here to my right. There are a couple of passageways back there at the top. There's a passageway over here. There's passageways back here. Lots of issues. But at this point, they didn't really know that there were all these offshoots of the room. I don't know if they were maybe smoking a cigarette, what they were doing. All right. So here we go. Was it during the 60s? Did they not have like?
It was self-guided in a lot of the caves in the 60s and 70s. Yeah.
So I could perceive.
Are they primary sources? And she said they could be if they were verified. So are those signatures verified by?
There was a signature on the right that I had never seen before, and the last name was Roundtree, and it was spelled Rowntre. But there is another signature back to the times of Jesse James, and if you are familiar with this part of the country, when you come in, you see places like Jesse James Rhino Stables and Jesse James Cave and things like that. That's because he actually was here on a cave tour. Or anything like that at this point. There's lots of breakdown, lots of limestone passageways around us. But as you listen up ahead, you all can hear water coming through the ceiling. This is where the transition begins. So above us right.
We are very lucky that we have a superintendent who cares. It's pretty awesome. So this is Varsity Triple.
Well, hello and welcome.
Hi.
I've been here, so I'm a little delayed in getting here. There's something going on, but it's
And Miss Lucy Cox ran this cave, and she was an excellent businesswoman, and that is a fascinating story. That's what we're going to talk about today. So y'all follow me in.
Maybe she didn't realize she was. Maybe it was more of a businesswoman type thing, perhaps. But she did not sell formation. Most of the other caves in this area, you might have noticed today when we were over in the Domes and Brimstone section, Mr. Morrison would let people break off the formations and take them home for a price. Miss Lucy did not let that happen. And because of that, we have these beautiful stalactites hanging down. You guys see those?
Yeah.
You've got stalagmites. Physically, we have yet to find a way to get from this cave, Great Onyx, to Mammoth.
But to me, this is the prettiest one.
How far back does that go?
Peanut butter, and I'm Jones. So peanut butter jelly.
symbolize communication and illumination.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
All in this 3 days, 3 days. And I love when you said, I found my peeps. So, the last thing that got me was who you are is not what you do, but what you do determines who you are. That was really great.
Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? And how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Very nice, very nice. And like Stephen Bishop said, lift your light higher. So for just a moment, can you just make some fireflies? Oh my gosh.
Firefly down.
All right, the moment's over.
I just think so.
On my cave tours, whenever I say the word weather or weathering and we're talking about that, you're allowed to just dance around. Erosion is moving on. It's the movement.
So have you been really impressed with just your beings, like your human parts? I'm not your human.